I should have seen the signs sooner. Elise was a force of nature, driven, radiant, impossible to ignore. In the whirlwind pace of her advertising agency, where charm mattered as much as talent, she didn't just survive, she dominated. I was drawn to that fire, seduced by her confidence and hunger to climb. But somewhere along the way, her dreams stopped making space for us. They began orbiting a single star, her. It started subtly, almost imperceptibly. Late-night meetings that came with vague explanations, last-minute trips that didn't quite add up, and a sharper edge to her ambition. A shine that once inspired me but had begun to feel like something colder, calculated. When I gently asked what was going on, she would smile dismissively, tease me for being too sensitive, and urge me to celebrate her wins. And I tried. God, I tried. But beneath the polished surface, I felt the chill of something slipping away. Then came the night that broke the illusion. It was a Wednesday. I just set the table, candles lit, a simple dinner waiting, an attempt to reconnect. She walked in without a word, the door swinging closed behind her like punctuation. She was breathtaking in a sleek emerald gown that shimmered like it belonged on a red carpet. Her makeup was flawless. Her heels clicked with a purpose that had nothing to do with me. You look? I tried, struggling to find the right words. I'm dining with Victor tonight, she said casually, as if she were talking about a grocery run. Victor, her boss, the one who sent her campaign ideas at 2 a.m. My gut twisted. The same Victor who emails you in the middle of the night? I asked, my tone sharper than I intended. She waved it off, spinning her keys on one finger. He's considering me for a director role. Says I'm perfect for it. I stared at her. You never mentioned any of this. She shrugged. It just came up. That's how these things happen. You're meeting your married boss, dressed like that, and you call it work? She didn't flinch. Instead, she smiled, a slow, smug curl of her lips that still lingers in my memory. James, you have to play the game to win, she said with condescension. You wouldn't understand. You've always stayed in your lane. That was the moment something snapped. Not in anger, but in clarity. She didn't just cross a line, she obliterated it. Don't wait up, she tossed over her shoulder, and then she was gone. She expected me to sit there, to swallow the betrayal, to keep being her quiet constant while she used me as her fallback. But I wasn't that man anymore. While she'd been chasing titles and secret rendezvous, I'd been watching. Not out of spite, but because something in me had felt a shift long before it became visible. I'd started backing up her phone, capturing the late-night texts, the oddly flirtatious messages between her and Victor. I'd saved recordings from our smart speaker, one where she bragged to her friend that she was inches away from the director role by being very persuasive. There was even a hotel reservation under her maiden name, a detail she clearly thought no one would notice. I had it all. She came home at 6:47 a.m. the next morning. Her gown was wrinkled, mascara smudged beneath her eyes. She dropped her purse and said it like a victory cry. He offered me the role. Executive director. Full perks. I nodded, my expression calm. I took a sip of my tea and said only, "Congratulations." She looked at me, uncertain, waiting for the explosion, for guilt or confrontation. But there was nothing left to argue about. She thought she'd won, thought she'd outmaneuvered me. What she didn't know was that I'd already set everything in motion. That afternoon, I met with a lawyer I'd been speaking to for weeks. I wanted a clean strategy, not chaos. Then I sent an anonymous tip to her company's ethics committee. Attached were copies of her texts, recordings, and a clear timeline of her professional conduct. But I wasn't finished. I mailed a package, untraceable, to Victor's wife, a highly visible philanthropist with more influence than Elise ever could have imagined. Inside, printed conversations, a hotel invoice, and just enough breadcrumbs to ignite a reckoning. By Monday, the cracks began to show. Elise was summoned for a closed-door HR meeting. Her promotion was pause pending investigation. Victor was placed on leave. By Tuesday afternoon, she was home early, her face blotchy with tears, her office belongings packed into a cardboard box. They said I broke conduct rules. She choked through sobs. They're launching a full investigation. I watched her quietly, not with cruelty but with finality. You once told me I didn't know how to make bold moves, I said. Turns out I do. Her face went pale. You did this, she whispered. I nodded once. No need to lie. She stumbled toward me, desperate. James, we can fix this. I did it for us, for our future. I never meant to hurt you. But she had. She just didn't think I'd do anything about it. I picked up the bag I had packed the night. She told me to stay in my lane and swung it over my shoulder. You chose this path, I said. I just made sure you reached the end of it faster. Her pleas followed me as I walked out, echoing behind the closing door. I didn't turn back. Not to her. Not to the life I left behind. What I built after was quiet, honest, steady, mine, and it was finally free of lies.